Well, just proves Victor didn't prepare. He didn't have access to the thing until now.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the show notes.
You just like show up. Yep. Yes, sir. I'm there.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 6 of 2025. I'm Chris Louie, and happy Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there. With me, I have my co-host, Havoc the Mouthpiece, who believes Valentine's Day is just another Hallmark holiday.
As with all holidays, just a money grab. We should do less of this, if you ask me.
Unbridled capitalism at its best.
It's crazy. It's a made-up holiday.
I was walking in Target the other day, and I walked by the greeting card section. Apparently, Hallmark invented yet another holiday called Galentine's Day, and I think it implies that if you're single women, you get another single woman a card and call it Galentine's Day.
Oh, God.
My daughter did that this year, my little 16-year-old.
You literally can't make this stuff up. Like, these are literal Hallmark holidays.
It's just like, on February 15th, this is going to be nothing but Easter crap outside. It's like, give it, or no, probably Leprechaun Day. What's that one?
Easter.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
St. Patty's. Everything will be green on the 15th. You're like, God, really?
Not President's Day swag, Brian.
Is President's Day?
Who has President's Day swag? Yeah.
Like a George Washington powdered wig or an Abraham Lincoln top hat.
I'll be celebrating President's Day this year. Hardcore.
Right, President's Day is on Monday, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
So
I'm going to take the day off.
you should.
So you're
You
right.
too, Chris. You can have the day off.
Right as an
I said
American.
so. That's right.
Victor has to work.
Yeah, well, if they were the 51st day, then
They would get it.
they get the day off.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. So if everybody wants to get to a bar,
And we have Glenn Medina, who treats every day as Valentine's Day.
That's right. You gotta go out and make your wives feel important, right? So take them out every once in a while and have a good dinner or lunch together, and maybe a drink.
I have a popcorn bucket at the movie you guys watch together.
There you go again. You and your popcorn.
Great moments in hookup history.
Oh, fucking right, man.
Our guest this week is our second most favorite Canadian, Victor DeLuca. Finally on, so we can recap our January challenges.
Wait.
Second most.
Yeah, hold on. Who's the
Second
first?
most.
Is it Trudeau?
Yeah. If you listen to our podcast from last week, it was Brad Lisoweski. We said he's our favorite Canadian.
Oh, I did, but I thought you just said that to make him happy. Because he's an only child,
He is an only child. He constantly needs praise and love.
I gotta admit, Victor probably listens to the podcast more than I do. But then again, I'm on the podcast more than he is, so I'm living it. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've listened to the podcast yet.
As the producer of the show, I have to listen to it in case there are any f-ups on it,
they gave you
yeah.
which I've
I'm
caught
outsourcing
before.
this one.
There've been a few times where someone's audio track was messed up, or we skipped audio in a certain section. I had to go back and change it.
I do listen though, only if I miss the recording. So
Oh, true.
I try to stay to keep in sync with you guys.
No, we're almost at episode 200. I think for episode 200, I'm gonna finally do the count and see who's been on the most episodes, who's been the most frequent guest, and hopefully pull some cool stats for episode 200.
Well, we know you as the host has been on every one.
I've been on every one. The only person that's been on every single one, and I even did the solo show one time because nobody else could make it.
And you promised never to do that again. Because you felt like such a loner talking to yourself.
Wasn't the best episode, but listeners come first.
Happened.
He was the debating master back then.
I was.
So for those dyslexic folks, it may come out odd. So
I got roasted for that earlier. I don't know why. I thought it was funny.
What, for having dyslexia?
No, for just my comment in the group chat.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about ways to help grandma not get scammed, a backdoor in healthcare monitors.
You had
Or-
me at Backdoor.
For our third topic, a magic packet backdoor. 2 backdoor stories in one episode, Brian. Very
Magic
excited.
packet
2
backdoor.
backdoors in one. People said it was impossible, but Chris,
What will
nay.
the cloud
made it
god
happen.
do? Oh
Nay.
my gosh.
And close with the January challenge talk. For our first topic, Microsoft Edge is testing a new feature to block scareware tech support scams. This is the common scam that pops up a window with threatening messages that your computer is infected and you need to contact Microsoft support at the scammer's phone number to disinfect your machine. If you remember, this was the entire premise of Brian's favorite movie, The Beekeeper. Edge will use machine learning to add an extra layer of protection by comparing web pages to known scam frameworks. It runs entirely locally without saving images or sending anything up to the cloud to protect user privacy. Machine learning, among other things, will look for things like brand impersonation and scanning for commonly used strings like, quote, your computer's infected, call 888, their phone number to disinfect.
So, are they using? I wonder if they're using the Chromium framework for this protection, or
let's,
is this specific
let's
to
see
Microsoft?
an enterprise browser do this.
Hey,
Glenn, you know anyone that sells one?
well, we know at least it can't be caught at the network layer, so the browser is the last defense.
Yeah.
Well, I like to browse the internet without a browser, so joke's on you.
I almost have enough.
He uses
I
command line browser.
Curl God.
Yeah.
But he's using he's
Curl
using his
WGET.
flipper. He's using his flipper to surf the internet.
Oh my gosh.
The scam still comes in through a text string. Call this number to disinfect your machine.
Wait until Microsoft finds out that they're doing pictures and no longer returning text. Then they'll have to introduce AI that can do OCR.
That's going to be the
I
natural
thought that was
evolution.
possible already.
Yeah.
I thought that was possible already.
There's not a single
It
word
is
wrong.
possible. I'm just saying I don't know that Microsoft's doing that, do you?
Oh no. Well, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing OCR. I mean, that was one bypass, though, for like phishing protection, because many web browsers have that brand impersonation phishing protection. Like if you say, enter your Wells Fargo password and it's not wellsfargo.com, well, that's an obvious scam. So they took a picture that says, welcome to Wells Fargo, so that the browser would be able to scan it.
I don't know. How do you drop a gun?
When he's at
You
the
have to pick
box.
up another one.
That's interesting.
By
I
the way-
actually, I was just gonna say I triggered a couple weeks ago. I triggered the Chrome browser protection. It was the first time I've seen that message, and it was I was testing a page, or I was browsing a page that's similar to the O365 login page.
Yeah.
So it was a copycat, and it said something like, "Oh, this looks like a copy of the official page or something like that." So it's I think they go further than just looking at the notifications or the pop-up windows. I think there's actual scanning of the page.
So if they're doing that, that's Chrome. It sounds like it's Chromium based already, right? So it's inside Chromium. So Microsoft's just taking advantage of that inside of Edge.
I think they're building on top of it because Edge is Chromium based, but then they've written additional modules on top of it. Like they have that, I forgot what they call it, Defender privacy browsing or something, where they have their own VPN service. They can build on top of Chrome. So I think this is a feature they're building on top of Chrome.
Anyone else feel like
That'd be cool.
Microsoft should be able to do security a little bit better? Their install base alone, you think that they'd be able to do cooler things than what they do?
Their install base or their browser usage install base?
No, the install base is just Windows, right? It's the most targeted OS, probably next to Android. And you think they would just have better telemetry and stuff that they could do to protect everyone?
Try and detect these scams and block them.
Yeah, pretty soon the same AI will start doing URL categorization and sending it up to the cloud.
At least
You disagree? Why are you laughing at me?
No, I
Josh?
was laughing because I remember that Chris mentioned the beekeeper in his description, and out of principle now, I saw the beekeeper. I think it was on Prime or Netflix. So I couldn't remember the platform, but out of principle, now that I know that it's your favorite movie, I just will never watch it. I don't want to get the references. I don't want to. I want you to be pissed off.
Victor, you're welcome to date my daughter now. You have that blessing.
Well, I think more security is better, especially for when you think of the average user that falls for the scam. Probably not a Firefox user, maybe a Chrome user, but you would think that they just use the basically default install of Windows, default browser. At least that's another layer of protection to help vulnerable people from getting scammed.
All right, Chris, what browser are you recommending, buddy?
Brave. I recommend Brave.
And
Privacy focused, Chromium based.
what about you, Glenn? I bet yours is something not Brave.
Personal?
No.
I would use Arc. Arc's pretty cool.
Arc?
Yeah. Arc is
is that-
Yeah.
What about running Linux inside of PDF? Have you guys tried that yet?
I saw that video. That was actually pretty ingenious. It didn't have access to the network stack. So what can you really do inside there? Can you transmit data if you don't have access to the network stack?
I have no idea. Proof of concept. At least you can do it.
Yeah.
Talk about de-weaponizing PDFs now. That's a whole
flatten it.
other business. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a story 6 months ago or so, and it had to do with an Apple zero-day exploit for iMessage, and it was a weaponized PDF. And from what I remember of it, NSO Group, the notorious spyware maker, they built like an entire computer framework inside of a PDF. So maybe this Linux might be based off of some of that, maybe not, but they basically wrote an entire computer code inside a PDF, sent it to iMessage, had it execute, and that was the zero-click exploit for iOS.
I was hoping it'd be less complicated.
Now, iOS
It was
is
the Java
really
interpreter.
locked down, so they have to get really clever and novel now. That's why those exploits are worth so much, because it's so difficult now.
You guys want to jump on this?
So that's it. Like that's a great parallel, right? Like so, you have the big three. You have Amazon, Apple. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, what would you call it for Android? What would we call that? Samsung is like who actually owns Android? I forget.
Well, it's
Android's Google, isn't
Android,
it?
Sorry,
it's
yes,
Google, but it's
thank you.
open source.
Yeah.
So you got
Yeah.
Google, you got Microsoft, and you got Apple. Of the three, Apple probably has the smallest like footprint, right? But they have the best security. Like, why is that?
Because they control their hardware.
Yeah,
They control everything.
They control the
every
entire
aspect
stack,
of it.
all the way down to the silicone.
So your position on this is because it's commodity hardware allows me to do nefarious things. I thought just kind of code.
Well, it's open.
Well, no, it's because
open and closed.
It's open. You talk about Android in general, or you
Yeah, like
the one-
Android. I mean, Windows
the
is
piece of crap phone that Victor uses. Well, it's because they have to be able to be compatible to every driver, every type of NIC, cellular card, whatever,
Every piece of hardware out there.
display and whatnot.
HTC,
It just opens the
and
door.
Well, it has nothing to do with
Huawei.
it, guys. No, like you have an app that's asking for flashlight app, right? It's asking for your phone book and your credit card and stuff like that's user error. You think that, but again, like they still have this. They have the ability to collect this telemetry. You think they'd be doing a better job of security?
They could, but there's nothing forcing them to. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It depends how you look at it, right? We can bring it back to the Apple versus Android work versus personal partitions, which are completely segregated. So it depends how you actually interact with the phone or the
Can
OS.
somebody go in that little room and
Because
grab
one
the
would
chip off
say,
the ground?
well, Android is safer for work
Yeah,
because
I
you
got
don't have to mix
card.
up personal and work
you got it?
profiles,
Oh, I'm going to grab
right?
it
So it
now.
depends how you're using it, I think.
From her
Okay, got it.
rigor-mortized hand
Yeah.
to yours.
Thank you.
Then Android gives you the option to like sideload apps, and you have
Tarnowski's notes
malicious app stores, and it's way more open.
It's like the
Which,
Linux of phones, right?
Yeah,
It's like the
for
OS
better or for
Linux.
worse. Do you want it more open and less secure, or do you want it more closed and more secure? It's a
I
trade-off.
want it more open and more secure, though. How do I do that?
Impossible.
So what if Android and Apple had a baby? Is that what you're saying?
That post didn't go very well, by the way. So screw you, LinkedIn people who don't understand short circuit. You guys suck. Worked really hard on that. I know Victor did not understand the parallels there, but that's okay.
I didn't even see it. There's a new one?
Computers now.
Yeah, it's okay. got lost in the mist.
You don't hit a grand slam every time, Brian. I'm sure.
I try to though. Like,
I'm sure.
that one kind of pissed me off.
Mr. M.O. might have some choice words for you
Are you
on
doing
that
any of
one.
the computers, Uncle?
I'll do all of them right now. If you want?
Well, I'll go do the lower one. Just do the 2 upper ones.
For our
And then I'll
second
go
topic,
put
on the
your password
topic
and
of
put it in.
what could possibly go wrong, a backdoor was found in 2 healthcare patient monitors that were phoning home to an IP address in, guess where? In China.
China.
Western Taiwan.
Let me know when you
Western
open one.
Not according to DeepSeek,
Oh,
it's not.
We're gonna get demonetized here in
Just-
China.
Just lost some social credit score for sure. on that one.
Yeah.
The U.S. CISA warned that the Contact CMS 8000 monitor is sending patient data to a server in China and downloads and executes arbitrary code on the device. Now, none of this activity is logged, obviously.
I'll just go to the
The IP address is also hard-coded in software for other medical equipment, including pregnancy patient monitors from another Chinese healthcare manufacturer. The transmitted data includes the doctor's name, patient ID, patient name, patient date of birth, and other very identifiable information.
23.
Currently, there's no available patch for devices that removes the backdoor, and CISA recommends that all healthcare agencies disconnect these devices from the network if possible.
Perfect.
The monitors are also sold under different brands, so everyone working in the healthcare industry will want to look at the CISA directive for all the affected devices.
So, do you guys remember, or have you seen the Shane Gillis skit where he's like talking about like terrorists and like them training and stuff, and like they really don't know what they're doing. They're like they're on the monkey bars and hyping each other up. Yeah, and he's like they shoot the rocket, it goes the wrong way, but when they actually do hit like a vehicle, like they
celebrate
just as surprised as everyone else. They're like, oh my gosh! I feel like this guy in China, when data started coming back over there to him, he was probably the exact same way. He's probably just like blown away.
Can't
Like,
believe
how
this
did
worked.
I know, like an IP address that's in China, like they're just letting this happen. Like this is dumb. Like all the way down to no matter how, like that has got the most basic thing. Like you should just be able to do that. Like how is that like not a standard operating procedure for every healthcare organization that's out there? It must be like some doctor that threw a fit that he like wanted to go work on brains in China, couldn't register, so they had to unblock the destination.
Lift the geo block, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's still pretty dumb. But good for him. I bet you that dude is like, I can't believe this worked.
Yeah.
But he's just playing the lottery now.
It's just like buying those Huawei routers and switches where that stuff was phoning back home.
Back to China.
Yeah, back
Dude,
to China.
When I was in Rome, I really wanted to buy a Huawei phone, bring it here, and throw it on the network and see what happened. But I completely forgot to when I was in the airport.
What was it? Didn't you say you had some things that were inside your house? Maybe a treadmill that was phoning home.
There was
No, it
smart
was,
switches or the
You have a lot
plugs.
of automation.
Well, so a long time ago when I first started, I would go travel around and always buy discounted crap at Home Depot. And I came across some webcams, and they ended up, I forget the actual thing that happened, but I just remember that the latency on it was just so bad that I just trashed it. And then like a month later, I was looking at Zscaler logs and I had all this stuff beaking out to China, and it was supposed to be like a Samsung webcam, like a little 1080p, and then I think they sold the business off anyways. Like it was just terrible. That was the device that was going back. And then the other one is the Lutron hub that is going out to their actual website every single night, trying to download a Debian package that has an embedded piece of malware that Zscaler is blocking at the moment. If you're working at Lutron and you hear this, answer my GD emails. I keep telling you guys about this and doing nothing. I got old firmware running over in the Deach household.
It's the only thing holding you back from getting your network completely
He's
owned.
wondering why his light bulbs turn red every night at a certain time.
No, well that's the wild part. Like so, I've left it open. Like I don't really care because it is getting blocked by Zscaler. But the default gateway is Zscaler. So even if it was infected, like where is it going to go? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the default gateway was there, so it's going to block that command and control channel anyway. So
Yeah.
Tell them there's a chip or something smart enough inside of it says go Wi-Fi and hop to a network or a guest Wi-Fi network.
The nearest neighbor attack.
No access. Yeah.
Or like overheat and blow up and start a fire.
Yeah.
I'm good with that actually.
Something like little insurance fraud.
The story reminds me. I read a story about 3 weeks ago. It's about the RCMP, right? The Canadian FBI. They bought, like, I think it was something like 200 drones, and they were made in China. So as soon as the boxes arrived, the U.S. said they were improper for border surveillance. So now they have hundreds of drones, Chinese drones, brand new, but they can't use them, which is kind of funny because it's exactly the same story, right? They bought stuff from China, and then now they just can't use it because the Americans haven't allowed these drones to conduct border
Could you imagine?
surveillance.
Could you imagine the purchaser of this is like, why are we going for these drones that are made in the U.S. that are like 1,000 times more than the ones that we get from China? The ones from China, we get pennies on the dollar. We can fly. Those are awesome.
Some procurement guy is counting his bonus bucks from saving them money. It's like, well, joke's on you. You can't use these drones now.
Yeah.
Like, what were they thinking? Like, using Chinese-made drones for what I would consider a national security issue.
Apparently, they're the market leaders. Apparently, they're really good drones.
Like
But
DJI.
yeah, DJI.
Yeah, they
But
make
that's
a
the
very
problem.
good drone,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But there's always that worry, is China going to backdoor these one day? It's
Brian has one.
exact same as the Kaspersky argument. Kaspersky's a good company. They're
do
good
any of you
people
guys
that
want
work
the
there.
boom
But the
smasher?
fact that they're in an oppressive country where someone can just come in and strong arm them into backdooring their software, that's too big a
You
risk.
don't know what it is?
Could you imagine if all these drones just turned on all at the same time and started flying all
Yeah,
over
it's
the
a-
place?
it's a
Oh wait,
really
did that
good
happen in the
idea.
East Coast?
We need to move on.
Happened in New Jersey.
New Jersey, right?
Apparently they
Did
were
that- did that get
FAA
debunked?
Apparently they were FAA authorized flights. That's the official line.
Yeah, somebody has to grab it.
Yeah, highly
Already have
doubtful.
the Wonder Weapon.
If you believe the government.
I'll come get it then. Or, yeah, thank you.
So
You can just-
I guess you come back to this. I mean, sending patient data to China, like heartbeats, medical information. What are they getting from here? Maybe patient data is
I'm not
important,
done
but
yet. I'm just have
but,
one orb left.
you know, statistical human information. What are they buying?
Yeah, I was trying to think, how do they monetize this? I wonder if they're waiting for just some high profile person to get hooked up to one of these monitors and says, oh, did you know that this celebrity or this politician has this disease? Something like blackmail? Like, I can't exactly figure out what the end game here was. Or did they just want patient data on U.S. people?
It's targeted
for
advertising.
medical
They
studies.
want to know all
Targeted
these
advertising,
people.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, there's an alarming number of people with diabetes and or type 2 diabetes.
But
They're overweight and they
Selling some
live in
Ozempic
California.
or some knockoff
Yeah.
Ozempic.
But I just like I've played around with these healthcare patient monitors, right? It's normally blood pressure, it's heartbeat, it's maybe heart rate monitor, like so kind of like a
Like vital signs.
EKG type, vital signs. So I mean, maybe a drip as far as like what type of IV, the IV fluid, but it doesn't tell you what type of IV. Maybe it does. I'll have to go look at that. But I mean, you're not inputting patient information to that. Maybe you can tie it
Alright,
based off the fact that it goes onto a health record and it's tied to Epic. Maybe that's the bigger thing, right? Is the fact that thing can web
I'll
crawl
show you where the gun is.
the patient information system.
Yeah, it's probably
And
connected.
not necessarily.
There's
Yeah.
probably, if there's an IP address, it's probably connected to the network, and then it probably can go left and right. And
Yeah, there's a little.
I was googling this
inside
device
Juggernaut.
specifically. You can get it
Not
for
inside that room,
$500
but outside of that room, there's a
So I
little
doubt there's any
table
security
right at the very back, and you can go
built
craft
into a
it there.
$500 device. So
What's that network vendor say? If it's connected, it's
it's secure.
breachable.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was my thought too. So, in addition to sending this patient data to China,
Says
the
it
other
parts.
scary part of it is it can download and execute arbitrary code. It's exactly that. Download a remote access Trojan, the things connected to the network,
Second, let me go
can
and check this
talk
out.
to other things on the network,
Unless I
and
might
then
have fucking didn't grab it
compromise
enough
and
time
move
yet.
laterally inside this hospital's network.
Oh fuck! I left it on the island.
I gotta admit, like,
Once I go and picked it up, you'll be
like
able to craft it.
what small hospital is using this stuff? Because you go to the big hospitals. I've never seen that one. It's normally like a Philips or some big brand, some Siemens or something like that.
Yeah,
so this
it
is
only needs
What?
one more piece. Once I go and grab it, it'll
It's
be
that.
I'm looking at.
It's that
I'm looking at
procurement
the
guy,
front.
like $5,000 made in America health monitor, or $500 made in China that does the same thing.
What's amazing is I've never seen this brand in any of the hospitals that I visited, right? So this is a good thing. What's interesting is how many other countries that use this device that they're collecting information on as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, as a Canadian, I wish I had this device. We have nothing up here. They just look at you
long
and say,
lines.
yeah, you're alive.
If we can talk about that later on, why do you have long lines to go see a brand new health clinic that opens in the neighborhood or a doctor that comes into the neighborhood?
Well, I mean,
But
it's
for
shorter
another
than
segment.
it's shorter than the bread line, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Is there any privatized health in Canada where you can just be like, I want to pay extra to be seen soon?
Yeah, and some of it is even illegal. That's a side story, but I know people that pay for illegal services because
Illegal annual health checkup.
yeah, some of it is legal though. Yeah, some of it is legal, but
What's it?
they also-
I'm sorry. What would be illegal when I'm checking my health?
I'm not fully aware of what's legal or not legal. But some interventions are legal, some other aren't. And usually there's a legal process. You need to get referred to a specific doctor, and you then need to go. If you have like a surgery, you have like private surgeries that needs to be conducted in certain settings with certain guidelines. And there's some freaky stories. If you Google them, there's a lot of weird stuff that people do just to get healthcare.
So they don't want like
So
back
this
alley
is-
doctors doing this stuff. Is that the gist of it?
Correct. Yeah, but that still happens because of the lack of access.
Okay. Do you have the Wonder Beam?
Very
or the
ambiguous
fucking
answer,
glass?
and this is the reason why
What's
you're a
called?
great
Beam
SE.
smasher?
When someone asks you about your product, you
you
can't
have
do
to
it. You
come
just
up
kind
with
of
part
talk
out of,
circles
one
until
of the
everyone's like,
scraps.
okay, this is
Scraps.
meeting's over. Let's go.
Why,
Deflect.
Brian? Why, Brian? What's your pain? How do you usually do this? Is it a manual process? How much do you pay for that?
Oh Lord.
Deflect when you can.
No, it's
Why now? Is there a compelling event coming up?
Yeah.
Look over there.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
that fucking thing?
Yeah. You talk about Android and Apple having a baby. Just kidding. Love you, Brian.
I love you more.
You coming?
All right, and staying on the topic of backdoors for our third topic, enterprise-grade Juniper routers are getting targeted with a campaign called JMagic, where malicious actors can send a specially crafted packet to pop a web shell on the router and take control of it.
Okay. I don't know,
The
I'm
malware
100%
is specifically
sure
crafted
it's
to
this one.
attack the
There's three
Junos
of them.
OS that
I'll
runs on
shoot
most
up
Juniper
into
routers.
the- shoot up
Evidence
in there.
gathered by the company shows that the earliest sample of the backdoor
you're gonna
dates
get
back
sucked
to
in, just shoot
September
it. Yeah, shoot up in
2023,
there.
with activity ongoing between mid-2023 and mid-2024, so about a years-long campaign. The majority of the potentially impacted IP addresses are said to be Juniper routers acting as VPN gateways, once again, demonstrating that having a VPN concentrator out there on the internet,
Yep, there it is.
listening for those connections is a bad idea.
Somebody has to bring
This
this
is
back
very
to
similar to the
camp.
attack
That's,
where there was a
very
backdoor
big
private
in there.
key in the XZ utility, where every Linux box could have been
And I'll go get
backdoored
the
with a
password.
previously unknown
Heck,
private key.
Like at where the room that we started in,
Is that the one
there's like a little
where
window
when they were looking at the
with a guy
source
in it?
code of Juniper, like they just came down so far and they're like,
Uncle Brian, you know what I'm talking
there was a
about.
note
You
on
go
there.
do
It's
it.
like, do not
Yeah,
modify
okay.
anything
Yeah.
below this line. We don't know what it does. And that turned out to
No,
be
I
the
don't need
backdoor
your
that's
private,
hard coded.
already done. I need
No,
you to
that,
go
that
and
was a
do it.
different hard-coded backdoor. That was allegedly put there by the NSA.
That was a government, yeah.
That was like
yeah.
3 years ago, I think, 4 years
No,
ago.
it had to been longer than that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it might have been a while, but they
do.
during a routine
there?
code review, he said, "Well, did you put that in? No. Did you put that in? No. Like, who put this in there? Like, nobody knew." And then, like, yes, it's an NSA backdoor.
There,
It was,
Oh, yeah,
2015. Victor
Okay.
was 7.
Yeah.
All right, so you're off by a little bit, 9 years ago. But yeah, I remember that story.
Dude, that's insane.
5 years and 9 years is close? Is that what you said? Or 3 years? He said 3 years. You said
I
9.
said I thought it was like
Difference of
5 years
6
ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Brian's
2015
Still
sounds
bad.
like 10 years to me, but
8.
you know, who am I? I'm not gonna argue math with Chris.
Exactly.
No one's going to miss your
Yeah, 2015 was 20 years ago.
All right, everyone, bye for
Yeah,
Nagomi.
Victor was only 7,
the-
so come on, guys.
The Canadian from the Canadian education system. Glenn's
right,
already
anyways,
bored. Glenn's
backdoors.
on his phone now.
Yeah.
You lost him.
No backdoors in enterprise browsers. Impossible.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like, how do you detect these things? Like, just like the XZ utility, it wouldn't get triggered unless you send this specific private key to that server. It's just like one of those hidden in plain sight things. I'm surprised they actually were able to find this.
Is there any mandate with, well, maybe with federal type of stuff like FedRAMP, but is there ever like a
Thank you.
mandate from a compliance standpoint that you have to do third-party code reviews?
I'm sure, yeah.
Publicly traded code?
I'm sure they do.
Sure.
Those fucking
Yeah,
missiles,
you might not have to, like, you don't have to hand it over like the Chinese government, but somebody, I think, should be able to audit the code to make sure it's secure.
I think if you're doing FedRAMP certification,
Hey,
you
I
do
need
have
to
to
get
do
Probably
that.
hand over the source
Part of
code,
it,
yeah.
raping all the kills.
Yeah.
Do
no
you
perks, I don't even
think
have
that Juniper sort of gave up on a lot of R&D the moment
Well, do you
that
guys
the
wanna survive
HPE
and do
news
this, or
came
what?
out?
Do
Like, do you
want
think they
to-
sort of stopped, improving or reviewing code or creating a lot of new innovation? I think that might be part of it, right? You stop innovating when there's an acquisition or an M&A in process.
Yeah, I mean, I'm that's happened before. That's
Yeah.
tale as old as time, so I would not be surprised in the least.
And it fell
Did it go-
through.
And say,
It did fall
so
through.
aren't
I thought it's still under
Oh
review.
my fucking god.
Yeah, didn't Dell buy
Now
one?
it's funny. Huh?
I think I remember reading that like 2 days ago.
But was it everything or just
There.
now they're just focusing on Juniper Mist or something? Is that a thing?
Huh. Okay, so DOJ sues to block it. So it's not a done deal. They have to fight in court because even when Activision bought Blizzard, they got sued, but that eventually went through after a lot of hand wringing and promises.
Well, okay, so yeah, it's still in the docket, but they're getting
Still in
sued.
play. Yeah, yeah. It's just not as smooth as they thought. Which interesting that it happened 6 days ago because we had a new president. We should have new. Actually, I don't know if we have a new chair of the FTC yet,
Found by
but
Deadshot.
this current administration is going to be way more M&A friendly. So we'll see if this is the old deep state that's blocking it, or if we get the new chair of the FTC that's much more M&A friendly.
That was close.
All right, and since I brought up the deep state for our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week, this week we're going to talk about our January challenge wrap-ups and how we all did. As a reminder, we did 2 challenges. One was the $100 Polymarket / Kalshi challenge to see who would have the most money at the end of the month. And the other was our fitness challenge that we challenged our listeners and us to run at least 1 mile per day for the month of January. I ran 69.42 miles, surpassing our goal of 1 mile per day. I thought I did pretty well, but when everybody else posted their numbers, I think I got blown out of the water by Brian and someone else in our group chat. 2 other people at least in our group chat.
Wait,
Someone did like
point of
150 miles,
clarification.
right? So
wait, whoa. You ran 69.420 miles.
Yes.
All right, just so we're all
Wow.
on the same page. You're gonna rant.
No.
Brian caught on to that one.
Yeah. There was all right. So you're right. We need someone to do the math.
welcome.
I think it was
is that in kilometers? Is that what you're trying to do?
maybe no. I wrote it down correctly. So
I got the
Yeah,
code,
right.
but,
yeah. How many miles you put in, Glenn?
3 times.
38.
38. Hey, you did
At
it.
least you made it. At least
38.5 something.
At least
something,
you hit
something.
you hit the goal.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
did
it
it.
was hard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Dude, good job though, man. Like considering we kind of live a sedentary lifestyle, and if you're not already running, that's a big. If you would have asked me to do that
Definitely.
last year, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, no, and I actually started running towards the end of it, so it was good.
Yeah, and you did dry January as well, right?
Heck no, I wasn't doing dry January. Are you crazy?
I did.
I ain't no quitter.
I did dry January.
I don't do dry anything. Come on,
I didn't rope these guys in because they hassled me last time. Like, I didn't sign up for that, so I didn't even include you guys this year. But I did dry January.
Maybe dry February, but never dry January. Well, no, you can't because there's football. So yeah, no, it's just never a good time to do it. So.
And what'd you put up mile-wise there, Vic?
I had to convert it, so I ran 33, and then I walked another about 12.
12. You're not like one of those other guys that was on the pod, right? Like, I walked 15 miles to get to work or 15 kilometers. I'm like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah, no, I have a job, so I can afford a car.
Yeah. So, no, kudos to the guys that were on the challenge with us. Some of them were crazy.
Yeah, even people that we had somebody in Canada where it was like not Victor, but somebody else in Canada where it was like negative 20 degrees every day, and they still managed to put up some impressive numbers.
That wasn't Ben.
Ben's not
No,
Canadian.
Like it was made for me.
So yeah, like let's work it from the bottom up. Worthwhile people that did great but didn't complete was I don't know if we should be saying last names or not though.
You just say first names.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Or initials.
James,
Or
right?
initials.
Like he didn't get to 31, but he also doesn't run anymore because he's got like jacked up knees or something like that. So it was a big push for him.
He was rowing though, right? He was rowing. He was
No,
doing other
that's
stuff.
the other gentleman.
Okay.
Let me see. I didn't actually write his down because he never summed it up. It was Rob, but yeah, Rob was doing a ton of rowing. So there was that. Then there was Kevin. And I think we said that Kevin's out of the UK, or England area. I have no idea. Germany,
I think.
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah.
He did really close. He got to 23.61 miles, but he also was doing CrossFit. So like, and now he's on a juice cleanse. So I expect for him to look pretty wildly different.
Call it juice cleanse when the top two shelves of your refrigerator are liquor.
Yeah. Dude, and then friend of the show, Ben, threw up some big numbers. So like really, like I kind of felt like it was supposed to be running, but then we just kind of opened it up to everything. And so if we open it up to everything, then it's a different story. But let's just kind of look at it for just a running perspective. So Ben actually did 42 miles in running, with another 36 miles in walking, which is pretty stoked.
Wow.
And then where I feel conflicted on this, like, oh, we're just gonna do all of our cardio stuff, including walking, would be Yuval out of Israel, because he did 183 miles, 183 miles total, but only 78 of that was running. And I bring that up because I don't want to be in third place, because I did 116 miles running. And I thought this was going to be an easy W until, yes, Carla from Canada did the 152 miles straight running period. That's it. So,
Wow.
That's impressive.
I guess it's a
Kudos.
point of contention. Who actually won? Do we sum it up? Is it the Israeli giant or the ice monster Carla? I don't know.
We all won, Brian. We all
won.
got out, and we
Exactly. We all exercised more than we wouldn't have without the challenge.
Yeah, did you? Well, what do you say?
I counted my workouts as well, which it was different than how many times I ran, right? So that was also, I don't know if people do that, but I can see that I worked out 25 times in 31 days. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Man,
I think I was sick at the beginning, so I missed like 4 days at the beginning and then rocked it the rest of the month.
And I only counted runs. Like I walk at least 10,000 steps a day. You know, my house is 2 floors. I'm always running up and down stairs. Like I didn't count any of that. This is just like I
As you
measured. Yeah, time on the treadmill or time running out in the wild.
You're lucky you got the 38 miles out of me. That was a hard one. I'm not gonna lie.
How's your back feel, Glenn?
The back feels good. It's my knees. Like for some reason, it must be the weight that I'm putting on. So knees hurt. So.
Speaking of weight, I would ask Victor if he lost any weight, but I'm assuming you just probably gained, right? You're already
Gain
at like
muscle.
2% body fat, so there's no way you're gonna lose any
So
more, right?
I'm actually tracking in Withings. So
Oh,
I
shit.
I was
Oh no.
I can tell you that I was 157 in December, and I finished the month at 156. I lost about a pound.
Lose your head out here on your
Oh,
No, that was just gel in your hair. Come on now.
He got a haircut. That was it.
Yeah, you got a haircut.
He lost a pound cutting his
Get
hair.
out of here. Get out of here.
I shaved.
Yeah, I could, I could lose a pound if I shaved my facial hair too.
No, I can't.
Yeah, so I will say
It
I
just doesn't
didn't
grow.
weigh myself, but just feeling wise, like I did, what I would consider a good amount of running in miles in January. I did dry January. I don't feel the least bit better. Like I don't
Really?
think I look any better. My pants don't fit me any better. So I don't know if I'm just at that age where my metabolism slows down and it's just not enough, and I have to burn the candles on both ends and stop eating so much Taco Bell too. But in terms of
Yeah, that's
dry
the real
January
question.
and running,
How many
Apparently
McRibs?
it's
Let's
not
put it.
enough.
You don't have an average order of Taco Bell. You're like 50 tacos, 30 burritos, right?
to my
All with
credit,
fire Diablo sauce.
I actually
Come
did
on,
not
man.
eat Taco Bell the entire month of January. The last time I had it was when I sent you guys that group in the picture in the group chat of that absurd amount. And that was December. That was like my last hurrah because I knew in
That
January.
explains
So what does that
the
prove? It
earnings
doesn't
dip
matter what your
on
diet
Taco
is.
Bell.
You still feel like crap.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, I could eat and drink whatever I want to. It doesn't make a difference.
You were saying, Brian? Sorry.
Oh, that Taco Bell did their earnings release, and that's why they had their little dip, because Chris wasn't investing so much in
It
his
wasn't
diet in
behind
there anymore.
January.
I will say though, the one measurement where my Apple Watch health app said, "Hey, you're doing way better on," was my resting heart rate. I got my resting heart rate down to like 52, I think, in the month of January. So pretty. I mean, it's that one. That's pretty good. That and then the cardio recovery rate went up significantly as well.
Cool.
I noticed that as well. Like when I first started running again, like not like 0.1 miles, like at 6 miles per hour, like my heart rate was at 160. I was like, oh my god, I'm so it's horrible. And so now, like this morning, I did a 4 mile run, and I think I forget what the average was, but the peak was like only 143. So it was like it had,
Yeah,
and that was
improving
running
your
at like 8 and
cardiovascular
9.
health.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we got to drop, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to the Kalshi / Polymarket bet. This one's an easy one.
I was the winner.
Apparently, Glenn. Well, how much did you actually end up with? Because you sent us your bets, but you didn't tell us how much you ended up with.
Oh, I think I lost $4. I think I ended up at like that. The last screenshot was like $96.
So you did not win because there was one of us that ended up with at least 100.
Was that Brian? Because he didn't put a bet in. No, come on, dude. He didn't even participate. He just threw money inside.
He just
there.
didn't
That's
know.
crap.
He didn't know how to. It's different.
How
No,
can you
I didn't-
how to? No.
I
No,
don't trust
win.
the
I'm
app. I
sorry.
wasn't connecting my bank account to it. I was like, I'm out of here. No way.
Yeah.
How much did Victor end up with? Because you sent us your bets too, but you didn't send us the final balance.
So yeah, I was up to $165 and ended at 0.
Oh, so that was. He did get wiped out on that
Took
one.
a couple big
Okay.
bets then.
And
Yeah.
and then I messaged the CEO, and then he answered, and then we had a short
Okay,
discussion.
everybody get to the middle.
And that's it.
And then he kicked you out the platform.
No, I still have an account.
All right, so if we not including Brian because he didn't participate, so we'll disqualify him. He didn't win; he got disqualified for not participating. So Glenn was first. I don't know how we break the tie between Victor and I because Victor and I ended up at 0, and then I guess maybe who went
You
out
guys had big
first?
bets.
I went
You
out
guys had big
like
bets.
maybe the 17th of the month, I'd say.
Oh man. I'll tell you what was your biggest bet that you made money on during that time?
Because I took the strategy of I got to go all in because I was expecting this to be competitive. So every bet I made was all in. So I started with 100. I think I went up to similar to Vic. I think I was up to about 160 or so. So these are my bets. So I bet Nosferatu, whatever that Nosferatu, that movie. Rotten Tomatoes above 85%. I won that one. I think that got me pretty high. I bet on Tesla deliveries over 500K in Q4. I lost that one. I thought that was a slam dunk. They did 490, so close, but no cigar.
Damn.
I won tech layouts up in November. I had a gut feeling that tech layouts would be picking up. I was right in November. And then the two that wiped me out, because again, I went all in on each of these. Top iPhone app for January 12th. I thought it was Watch Duty because of all the fires in LA. It was #1 for a number of days. I thought, gonna keep the streak up. The fires aren't going anywhere. Lost that one. It lost to Lemonade because of the TikTok ban. So I had two things going against me. And then the last one I lost, which wiped me out, was Ozempic and Wegovy prescriptions up 10% or more. I thought there's a lot of fat people here in the U.S. I think that, Ozempic prescriptions should be
10%. That's all you were asking.
Exactly.
Wasn't a lot.
So no. So apparently I lost that one as well.
Yeah.
Then you want to go because I know you have to go. Do you want to read off your bets real quick?
Yeah, I think my big bet was the Kansas City game. So
You bet on the Bills?
No. I bet on Kansas City.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet on Kansas City, and they pulled through and got my $49. I was down. I was down a lot.
The big bet
okay.
in terms of winning. Yeah, got it. So you
Yeah,
bet on
big
Kansas
bet was
City to win.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything else was like $3, $5, and yeah, I wasn't making a lot, but I wasn't moving a lot either. So
Yeah.
Shit.
Some really losers, some big losers.
What else did you bet on?
But anyways,
Okay.
Other than
the end of
who's gonna be the Secretary of
You're saying the
Defense,
zombie?
which I got right.
Exa.
Well, I gotta go get
Yeah, the
John
one that
Wick.
I thought was gonna go through was which country will Trump impose tariffs on in the first 48 hours? He didn't do any.
China.
Damn it. Yeah,
It took 2 weeks. Yeah, instead of 2
Yeah.
days. But yeah.
The one I should have made a lot of money on, but I bet small, was how many January 6th protesters will Trump pardon?
Yeah.
And I bet over 500. And
Yeah.
that paid out. Yeah. The big one was, I thought he did speak, but maybe I was wrong. Who will speak at Trump's inauguration ceremony? And I put Elon Musk, but I got paid 0. But I thought I saw him speaking at the ceremony.
He did. He spoke. I don't know if this is like a nuanced thing where he spoke at like an event before the inauguration or at that. I don't know.
That's what it was.
But he definitely spoke. That's when he did the "My heart goes out to you" hand gesture.
Yeah. And that's why I thought I had won that, and
Yeah.
it was like no. And that's why you saw how highly upset I was.
Yeah.
So
Pretty damn good, Glenn. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, guys.
All right, Glenn's got to leave.
Later.
Okay, I'm
Three of
ready.
us will
Let's go
continue.
downstairs and do this shit.
All right, go.
mine were pretty aggressive. I bet a lot, like a lot. I won't say all of them. There's over 25.
No, we can still get perks.
I
We
did
just
bet
get,
on
like, this is
everything.
just like a mini
Like,
boss.
He was like parlaying
From-
these things, like $2 here, $3 here.
More than that, because I was
Move
up
on to the
and
next
down
stage.
a lot.
And the next
So
one,
I bet
crap.
on like a soccer game. I bet on will ChatGPT 5 be released by June 30th? Will Trump pardon January 6 protesters on day 1? Will Trump attend the launch? I think
Somebody
it
finished
was
the
SpaceX
round.
Flight
What the
7 or
fuck?
something.
We weren't gonna
I bet on Avatar
I
3
jumped off that
to be the
ledge.
top grossing movie of 2025. I
Flop,
bet
the flopper
on
accidentally killed him.
there will be no mega quake
I'm
in
sorry,
January. I bet on January not to be the hottest
I'm
month
not
on
thinking about
record. And the one that paid off the most was I bet that the Palisades fire would not burn more than 40,000 acres by day number 5.
No, it wasn't really that hard.
That should put your
I
mind
was
Can you imagine just profiteering off of people's losses? Like,
Yeah.
there's a meme of,
Yes.
is it like 2 lobsters and they have like a knife duct taped to the hand and then like people are like betting money on like that's what it feels like how many homes are gonna get burned down in this fire.
Yep.
So, just like a rocket going to ship, or rocket going into space, I need to pull off this podcast as well, boys.
All right.
Victor, I hope you don't have a dumb joke. Womp womp.
See you later, Brian.
Later, boys. Thank you.
I got this guy.
All right, on that note, I guess it's time to move on. We continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week. Dad joke of the week. This week, our guest Victor is up.
All right. What concert cost just 45 cents?
Is this a 50-cent joke?
50 cent minus Nickelback.
Nice. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
All right, to wrap things up, Edge is getting better tech support fraud detection. Healthcare monitors have backdoors sending data back to China. Juniper routers are getting remotely owned. And keep exercising and stay healthy. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers who rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show.
If you get 'em stuck in
The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina, and our guest Victor DeLuca. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia. Only real OGs stay until the end. Go to hell, Glenn and Brian.
Indeed.
Have a nice day.